We greet you in the love and the light of the one infinite Creator. We communicate now. Welcome to the KaK M Show. So we're going to do a special today. No, it's not quite special, but it's a series of videos on what we think Creator wants. That'll be the phone. So there's this book, and I've tried to contact him, Neil Donald Walsh. Can you see that? What Creator wants. And I think this is the 5th or 6th books in the Conversations with God. And we've mentioned before what happened to him. He got down on his luck, he lost his wife and his money and his house and everything, and the woman took him in, and he vented his anger towards Creator, and Creator started to communicate him with telepathic thoughts, which we've just been reading about in a book called Voices of the Confederation from 1974. Very, very, very good. Reproduced. It was never before published, and now published a couple of years ago. So we're going to go through this, and we've renamed it What Creator Wants. Now the question is, who or what is Creator?
I am.
Have a look in the mirror. Who are you, what are you, why are you here, and what do you want? Well, what you are, and don't get bigoted about it, this, is you're Creator of all that is, all that ever was, all that ever can be.
I thought I was.
That's why I say don't get big-headed about it, because so is he. And you are, and so am I. Yeah, that's what you are. You are infinite. Don't believe a word we say. If it makes sense to you, it makes sense. If it doesn't, then enjoy your sleep, enjoy your rest. So, what you are is Creator of all that is. Sorry, that's who you are. What you are is infinite. How small is small, how big is big. There is no beginning or end.
So if you're infinite, that means that you never die. There's no such thing as death. And life is just a reality.
We're not sorry to break it to you, but you're actually immortal. Not in these vessels. These vessels only live for a while that you occupy.
These are just for an experience.
On this planetary game sphere. Although some people think it's flat. Have a look on page 247 of Voices of Confederation. I'll send you. In fact, if I send you the link, you can drop it in at the end of the film, can't you?
Oh, you got it on. You took pictures, didn't you?
Well, it's in Sue Watkins' book, Conversations with Seth. Seth mentioned your planetary sphere. We of Ra, in the Ra material, mentioned your planetary game sphere. And I think it's We of Latwi and Haton and Quo, channeled information, mentioned on your sphere of light. Because apparently light is the only material that exists, and only the force of love comes with it, and it's not what we actually think love is. I love you till I die, till death do us part. No, it's none of that rubbish. Anyway, so getting on to what Creator wants, we've already done part 5 of this. This is what Creator, the KaK M Show, What Creator Wants, part 1, or part 0 if you like. And we're just going to go through a few things in here and have a discussion about it. How long is it since you've read a dangerous book?
I think that was in Germany in the 1930s.
What was that called?
I don't know, but they come and burnt it.
They did.
Just like they're doing at the moment.
You'll be in and out of this one in very little time. It's a short book, so it's not only dangerous, it's fast.
Short and fast.
Fast and dangerous. That's often a fascinating combination, isn't it? Yeah, maybe even a little exciting. Danger and excitement are two sides of the same coin.
Just like Labour and Conservative.
Yeah. The Republican Democrats and the Democratic Republicans. Which of the two you experience depends on whether you're racing towards something or away from it. So in here I've put some little tabs that we can discuss of things. So this is one of them, and it's in chapter 1, page 7. He's making funny gestures, isn't he? It is what can occur when the technological advancement of a species races ahead of its moral, ethical and spiritual development. Then what the universe has to deal with is children playing with matches.
A bit like Trump or May or
so yeah,
Macron.
Basically this goes on about what's going on presently in the spacious present, the now, and that's apparently the only time that exists, in the now.
But that's gone now.
Correct.
And this time's now.
Now.
So what happened to the time we got this just gone?
It's still now.
Okay.
The past, present and future
that
are
makes
all
sense,
now.
Then.
So, as a good friend here mentioned, what we've got at the moment is babies and infantiles running this planetary game sphere.
I think it's now undeniable that Trump is one of them, one of the baddies.
So we've got children playing with nuclear weapons, basically infants and babies playing with nuclear weapons. And, well, as co-creators, do we really want them playing with nuclear weapons that they will damage our creation?
No, definitely not.
I don't want them, not in my name.
No.
And not in yours. And where we come from, we don't really need names. So that's one point at the moment. Anyway, on to chapter 4. It says many people will be afraid to believe in what's actually in this book. So we're going to question what's going to go on here. And I'll read to you. A dramatically different idea is going to be presented here in just 12,108 words. From now. What a coincidence. So opposed to this idea is the established order that in some countries, if you said out loud the things that in this book or in this video that the KaK M Show are doing, we could be killed. We may be killed. Not by an angry mob. Guess who by?
Government.
The government. And there it is. By the government. Yeah? Imagine some of this stuff was said in Saudi Arabia. They recently beheaded 43 people, including a 16-year-old boy. A lot of this is relevant to all what's going on now, because we're not liking what's going on this planet. Mark Salon here, for years, and still is, exposing all the injustices and the lies that go on by our mind controllers and everything else, and tries and gets people to wake up from their slumber. So you could be accused of committing a crime against the laws of the land and sentenced to death in certain countries for reading what's in this book or telling you what we're telling you in this video. We could be criticised, vilified and ostracised. We could also be removed from any place of influence we might hold, and our views would be almost certainly marginalised. I wonder why that is. Why do you think that if we were to say stuff that's in this book about what Creator really wants and who we are?
Because it destroys their system. Their system of dictatorship. It's a dictatorship. Every country is a dictatorship at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you, my friend. There's all these other people with the different religions saying that this is the truth. This is the truth.
Yeah.
But it all says, in the Bible, in the Quran, in all of these books, it says that the Creator, you've heard about, there was a man called Muhammad that later became
Allegedly
a prophet, and he went up into the mountains for so many days and on his own. And I assure you, when you go on own, some people hear voices in their head. And he come back down the mountain, didn't he? And what did he say?
I've spoken to God.
God's spoken to me. And they said, you must be mad. And he went, no, I'm
Muhammad.
I'm Muhammad. And that's where the word came. Anybody who's got voices in their head is a bit cuckoo. Like David Icke. Raving mad bow. So on to the next bit. This is supposed to be a discussion. Here we have, it says the world does not have to be in big trouble, and it certainly seems to be in big trouble with infants and babies running it like Theresa May and Donald Trump.
Yeah. Well, like I said about Trump, it's now undeniable that he's one of them, because despite when he got in, he was going to say there was going to be no mandatory vaccinations. He's now changed his mind and says everyone must be vaccinated.
On RT this morning, Trump made a statement. It says, America, get your shots. Because apparently 700 people out of how many people are there in America?
300 million.
700, which is a drop in the ocean, a tiny drop, get measles.
Oh, no, not measles.
So Trump's working for Big Pharma now.
Yeah.
But before he said he wanted to put America first.
Well, that was America PLC.
As we well know, he's been hypnotised because it's not the same Trump. I'm going to impeach Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
He goes to luncheon with the Clintons now.
He's one of them.
Yeah, and we went on about WikiLeaks a couple of weeks ago, didn't we?
Yeah.
I know nothing about WikiLeaks. Doesn't even interest me. Hey, look, WikiLeaks! I love this guy, Julian Assange. I love WikiLeaks. Look what's in here this week.
It's not really my thing.
So anyway, the world does not have to be in big trouble, but it seems to be at the moment. I mean,
the world's not in trouble, it's just us.
Who wants all these nuclear weapons with all these children playing with matches?
Yeah.
So it's because it chooses to be, apparently. It's people could make a different choice. Could we make a different choice?
Choose not to vote.
Choose not to register, because that's Regis King, isn't it? That would be a good start. when you've got... There's nothing to vote for.
Well,
we don't need government, do we?
Like I've said before, if voting made a difference, you wouldn't be allowed to do it.
No, I totally agree with that. So here it says, I think very soon they will. I think the people have had enough. We've certainly had enough, I agree with that. They've had enough of the violence and the terror and the killing. You look what's happened in Sri Lanka. Surprise, surprise. Who's done that?
Well, apparently it was ISIS again. You know,
Nah, not ISIS. Who funds ISIS?
the government.
So who did it?
The government. So
Thank you very much.
who are the only terrorists on the planet, whether that's flat, round, cubed, or whatever? Government. Government are the only terrorists.
Seems that way at the moment, doesn't it? So, they've had enough of the bickering and the quarrelling and the terror and the killing and the fighting that leads to it. They've had enough of their own lives not working, of seeing their own relationships falling apart, of watching their own careers crumble, of having their own dreams dissolve and disappear. They've had enough of everything being a struggle in our world, and every day filling itself with adversity and difficulty all over the globe. They've had enough of human society taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back, constantly trudging into the wind. The human race is losing its patience with itself, I think. People are saying there's got to be another way. Well, we're asking, is there another bloody way? Right, it doesn't necessarily have to be bloody or terrifying way.
End government, game's over. We can then get on with the life that we were supposed to hit for.
We could make that choice, wouldn't we? No infantiles or babies running the planet. We don't need governments. We can cure ourselves with something we can grow on our own in our back garden. So we don't need councils or mind controllers.
Nope.
Well, go to the foot of our stairs or tickle me with a feather.
Well, if you think about it, it's like council tax isn't legal.
It's not.
It isn't even lawful.
But yeah, you don't pay it and they use force against you. That's slavery.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on this planet. Basically, we'd like to ask people, are you still putting up with this? There's got to be a different way. So if we're all gods and we create all this, why are we letting it go on? Okay, there are people who thought they knew what Creator wants. It's people who thought they knew what Creator wants who created the 200 years of the Christian Crusades. The horrors of the Inquisition. Right?
Yes, you will believe in my God, otherwise I will kill you.
They had that cow god in the Middle East before the Allah, didn't they? And there's the golden cow. And they went to get rid of that. This is seeking to win the world for Christianity. It's people who thought they knew what Creator wants that told armies of Muslims to send marauders far and wide to conquer every land and culture and bring it under the nation of Islam. What do you think to that? That happened after the Crusades, didn't it? Because
It's happening again right now.
The nation of Islam sent the Crusaders packing with their tails between their legs. And that's why it's been a war on Islam by our current modern, wonderful governments.
What they've decided to do was, rather than try and wipe them out, they'll get them to wipe us out.
Yeah, so they've twisted it and put them under hypnosis. That's what's happened in Sri Lanka. They found all the bomb factories, and those poor lads have. I know you don't like the royal family and the Theresa May and Trump and stuff, but you wouldn't wear a David Cameron suicide vest and go and blow them all up, would you? That'd just be ridiculous.
Well, what's the point be?
You'd be blowing yourself up.
Yeah.
But don't they realise who they are?
No.
Right? Creator doesn't want anything. He certainly doesn't want you to get on your hands and knees. Do I want you to get on your hands and knees? We don't want you to do anything. We ask you not to believe in anything we say. So why should we ask you to get on our hands and knees? Don't worship us. Don't worship anything. Worship means to be worthless, doesn't it? So, it carries on to say here, Neil Donald Walsh, it's people who thought that they knew what Creator wants, who called themselves the chosen ones, and reclaimed land that they declared to be originally their own. Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israelis, he's just got in again, hasn't he?
He fixed the vote, didn't he?
I totally agree. You got that. You hit that dead on the hammer, dead on the nail. And so, people of Israel, they declared that land to be originally their own, ignoring the fact that history had caused it to be inhabited for thousands of years by others, and telling those others to now leave portions of that land, and to live where and how they are told to live as second-class citizens without equal rights in their home.
Sounds fair, doesn't it?
Well, God spoke to me. No, we didn't. It's people who thought that they knew what Creator wants who hanged men and women in town centres. These were our councils. Our local council did this. They slaughtered people and hung them and even crucified them. In Saudi Arabia the other day, which our governments and Macron and Trump, Theresa May, Boris Johnson have funded, have sent weapons to Saudi Arabia. They actually crucified somebody the other day in public. Crucified somebody! Do you think Creator wants that? No chance. And one was a 16-year-old boy. And our royal family and wonderful, wonderful governments who make such money for their mates through selling weapons all around the planet are still mates with the Saudi royal family while they crucify people.
And that should tell you, that in itself should tell you that all governments are terrorists. The fact that our supposed government are supplying Saudis with weapons just shows you that they're all terrorists together.
I totally agree.
Scratching each other's back and supplying each other with weapons.
Do you think Creator wants that?
No, definitely
Most
not.
definitely not.
We know exactly what Creator wants. Nothing. Because Creator is everything.
All it is, all it ever was, that there can be.
So why would he want anything? And of course I'm saying he, could be a he, she, whatever you want to call her, in it, at.
Creator doesn't really have a sex, but he or she doesn't require you to do anything at all. It's certainly not pray 5 times a day, or get on your hands and knees, or to do anything.
Get that mark on your forehead.
Yeah? And don't say that.
Maybe that is the mark of the beast.
No, that's 666 999 333. Our so-called servants do that to us because they walk a negative path.
But they're not our servants, are they?
They're only serving themselves and their mates. You see, JFK on his deathbed was right. That information that he gave through channeling, where he said, the question was asked, is it okay to vote?
Oh, about Eric?
Yeah, is it okay to vote? And he's like, well, whatever you do, it's just another person that fills the shoes of the person that's leaving. Nothing changes.
Even Netanyahu said recently, the reason he does what he does, which he knows is evil and bad, is because if he didn't do it, somebody else would just step in his shoes and do exactly the same.
So they just conform, yeah. So it's people who thought that they knew what Creator wanted, excuse me, that hanged men and women in town squares, just like Nottingham, and burned others at the stake, which find a general. Right, they also cut your head off in France. Yeah. By the way, Macron has been found guilty of selling weapons to Saudi Arabian royal family as well. It's leaked out this week. Isn't it amazing how leaked documents, the person who either found the leak or exposes the leak gets imprisoned, but the people who did the deed, like killed a load of people or committed all these awful war crimes, actually go unarrested or unimprisoned.
Well, it's a case of rather than arrest the whistleblower, how about arresting the politicians that they're exposing?
Or the US military that committed all those atrocities.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not arrest them instead of Assange? Because that doesn't make sense. Right, anyway. Yeah, burned others at the stake, holding up the good book and declaring them, I declare these people on in God's word of the Holy Bible to be witches. Not in our name. That's not what Creator wanted. This book just keeps giving and giving and giving.
You think a bit when they used to dump alleged witches, drown them, and if they survived, they'd kill them. And if they drowned, they were innocent.
If you survived, you're a
win-win
witch.
situation, that, isn't it?
But if you die, then you're okay. These were government officials that were doing this.
Because they believe they have some power. It's like the councils believe they have power over us.
What else did our government do to us, our mind controllers, years ago? There's people like them that thought they knew what Creator wanted, who passed laws making it illegal for humans in different races to marry. We're all equal. Men, women, whatever race you think you're running, or whatever colour or whatever country you think, we're all actually equal.
But can't we run for cancer? Because we'll run and get a cure for cancer.
Up your bum, you You better bleep that. And you, UK Youth, Cancer Research UK, crooks.
There's going to be a lot of bleeping in this one.
So yeah, it was governments who passed laws making it illegal for us to do all sorts of things. It's people that who thought they knew what we wanted as creators, who created cultural prohibitions forbidding people to sing or dance, draw pictures of any person or play music of any kind except sacred songs.
Apparently, though, it's okay to grow medicine nowadays. You were saying you'd seen it on TV.
There's a woman, I think, in Leicester. I don't watch TV, but I saw it online. In fact, it's on YouTube. I'll send it to you later. It's a programme with Philip and Holly that's on apparently in the mornings on ITV. And they got this woman in. I don't know what her name is, but she got fibromyalgia. It's like this enormous set of pains constantly in the bones and everywhere you just can't get rid of. She was on the type of heroin. And that a local doctor and government prescribed for her. But because Theresa May said we could have cannabis oil last September, although I don't see it anywhere. She says she tried cannabis and she went abroad or something, and she said it completely took away from this fibromyalgia that she'd had, these massive pains. So she decided it was, she got a private prescription. That was it. This is what the government in the UK are doing. There was a private prescription because her doctor said, I'm sorry, I can't prescribe it for you because your mind controllers, the British government, haven't approved it yet.
Let's just call them what they are, the British terrorists.
Yes, that's correct. So she had to get a private prescription. Did you know how much that cost?
No idea.
£1,400 a month. Now, bearing in mind, this is something you can pay for a few euros. You can go and buy some seeds in Spain or whatever, or wherever you are. You can go and chuck them on the floor like Jack and the Beanstalk, and a great big ganja tree grows outside your house. Then, as it grows these flowers during summer, and before sort of October, November time, you can cut the flowers off, you dry them out, you wash them in alcohol, you steam all the alcohol off in a rice cooker, and there's your medicine. How easy is that? How easy?
So we could all cure ourselves of everything, including depression.
Yes. The sativas probably help that. It's more uplifting. The indica helps you sleep and stuff. Anybody can look into this. We've mentioned it so many times before. Excuse me. So this woman, I don't know what her name is, but she was the other morning. It's on YouTube. The channel's called This Morning. Good Morning Britain. No, it's not Good Morning Britain. It's This Morning with Philip and Holly. Anyway, she went to the police and she says, I'm growing cannabis in my garden and I'm going to tell you about this. I'm not selling it. I'm not a drug dealer. And I'm going to make medicine. And they went, as long as you're not growing more than 9 plants, you can have a license. Did you know that?
I do know that because there was a friend of ours that was in court, and he actually had 10 plants, and the judge said it's the lowest of the scale. It's like basically it is for personal use. So I think he got a £350 fine for 10 plants, and that was only because he was stupid the way he done things. But it just shows you that
how times are changing.
Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting. I'll send you the link later. So this is the last one for this part 1 of What Creator Wants. We have emailed Neil Donald Walsh, but he's an old man now, he's in his 70s, and he's not contacted us. But if anybody knows Neil Donald Walsh out there, forward this video to him, because we want to say, Neil, thank you very much. One of the best books you've ever produced, What Creator Wants. Don't like the word God, it doesn't really matter. But the last bit in this particular part 1 we're going to talk about is what most people think God or Creator is. So most humans have been told that God is a jealous God, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
It's a vengeful God.
Yeah.
Plagues of locusts and...
An angry God, a violent God, it goes on and on.
And frogs. God is an angry God who can be filled with wrath, who uses violence directly on human beings, and who invites or even commands human beings to do so in each other. Onward, Christian soldiers, marching as to war, with the cross of Jesus going on before. Let's make lots of money, da 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 da.
And send the daft to fight it because they don't know any better.
They're coerced. So,
well, think about World War One in the trenches.
Get
up and run at them machine guns. No, bang. Get up and run at them. Okay.
There was a World War One on this planet.
Number 2. And we're in
You're
3.
kidding me. Seriously? So, they've also been told that God is a caring God, a compassionate God, a merciful God. It says this in Islam. A loving God who wants nothing but the best for human beings. All that human beings have to do is obey him.
And worship him.
Not in my name. If we're all creators, do you want somebody to obey you? You must do what we say. Do not do what we say. This is what Creator wants. What does Creator want?
Nothing.
Louder.
Nothing!